When we were children, we all had a dream. And in this two-part video, I'm going to be telling you the story of my 2020 season. Alton Towers, living the childhood dream. Part 1 of Alton Towers, living the childhood dream. Now, it's no secret that ever since I was a child, my one dream was to work at Alton Towers. That was the only ever dream I had as a child growing up. And in this story, like no other, I'm going to be telling you the story of how I lived my childhood dream in probably what has been the most craziest year ever. Sit back, hold on tight, we're in for a roller coaster ride. January 2020, childhood dream achieved. The start of what would be both the best and craziest year of my life. It was Friday 24th of January, Alton Towers, interview day. The nerves and tension kicked in from the moment I had entered Magic HQ. I had all sorts of scenarios running through my head that day, but I was ready. My life had been building up to this moment. This was my destiny. This was my time to shine. My heart was beating faster as we edged closer to the interview, but I just knew that this was going to be a special moment in my life. I kept telling myself that I am one step away from fulfilling my childhood dream. The interview had passed and it was time for me to go home. At this point, I didn't know what to expect. Did I do well or was I awful? At the time, I just thought that I had tried my best and that's the least I could do for an interview. I even said to my mum on the way home that even if I didn't get the job, then I would dust myself down and go again next year. However, all of that changed when I got home. My phone rang. I wasn't expecting my phone to be ringing so quickly after my interview, bearing in mind that this was around 2 hours after my interview. I picked up the phone nervously. Hello, I answered. This was the moment when my childhood dream was finally achieved. Congratulations, Will. I'm delighted to tell you that you have got the job. For about a minute or two, I was speechless. Was this a dream? Or was this reality? What? Really? Are you serious? I asked. Yes, I am serious. Would you like the job or not? I definitely couldn't say no. Obviously, I said yes. I put the phone down and the first people I shared the amazing news with was obviously with my mum and dad, closely followed by my sister. I still couldn't believe it. I was over the moon. This was a moment that I had always dreamt about ever since I was a child. All those visits to Alton Towers down years as a child growing up, and most of all, that work experience I did with Product Excellence just a month before I'd finally paid off. Cue the celebrations in the form of a few pints. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is January 2020 when I got my dream job, and to this day, I still cannot believe that I've got the job. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was just the beginning of this crazy year. Moving on to the next month. February 2020, first day of work. Saturday the 29th of February. This was it. The moment I had been dreaming of for so long. My first day of work at Alton Towers. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't nervous about the first day of work, despite Alton Towers being the place that I grew up with. As we were driving to work, the nerves started to kick in. My heartbeat once again was getting faster as we got closer to Alton Towers. Now, I don't remember too much from my first day of working at Alton Towers, but what I can tell you is that on this very day, I knew that I would be working with a lovely bunch of people. A team that I would slowly feel more connected to. A team that would slowly become my second family. Right off the bat, I knew this 2020 Product Excellence team was going to be something special. After my first day of work at Alton Towers, I had finally found myself in this gigantic world. I had finally found my destiny. I had finally found my true calling. This was just the beginning of my Alton Towers journey. The beginning of something spectacular. And that's where my Alton Towers journey started on Saturday the 29th of February 2020. And as I said, I can't remember too much from that day, but I knew something special started that day. Moving on to the next month. March 2020, you must stay at home. All was going well at work. I started to become a better person as each day at work passed. The 2020 season was fast approaching, and I was getting really excited about not only working at Alton Towers for their 40th anniversary, but also visiting for their 40th anniversary too. But then, disaster struck. On Thursday the 19th of March, it was announced that Alton Towers wouldn't be opening as planned on Saturday the 21st of March. This was quickly followed by the government announcing on Monday the 23rd of March that the UK would go into full lockdown and telling us to stay at home to combat the coronavirus. At this point in time, I was feeling really anxious and sick. I had all sorts of thoughts spinning through my mind. I didn't know whether all that hard work I did in my interview would be lost or whether it would still be saved. I was also really worried about my other team members as well. Thankfully, my manager kept in touch with me and kept me informed throughout the lockdown period. Lockdown, I guess you could say, was a bit of a roller coaster ride for me. But the best thing about lockdown was that I got to spend it with my family. I don't know what I would have done without my family during lockdown. Also, during lockdown, I tried my best to keep you guys entertained by doing a variety of videos. And so the lockdown rollercoaster adventure will continue until at least June. And that, guys, is the end of part 1. I really hope you enjoyed it. Part 2, I will be looking to release sometime between Saturday and Monday. So do keep an eye out for part 2 of Alton Towers, Living the Childhood Dream.